Hello, everyone. How are we? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic Thursday, wherever you are around the world. Yes, I did have to think what day we were on, but hello, everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well. And welcome back to another Liverpool news episode for you guys this evening. Let me quickly get that out of shop. There we go. But yes, hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic day. And like I said, hopefully, everyone is all good and okay. But of course, another Liverpool news episode for you guys tonight. Of course, tomorrow will be match preview show for, of course, the Spurs game on Sunday. Obviously, big game, I think. Well, I think at the minute, oh yeah, Chelsea have just scored. So again, not really anything on it for Liverpool because again, we're not going to win the league. Champions League's already secured. So now it's just, again, having, a good end now to the Jurgen Klopp era anyway. But of course, we're going to talk and discuss, of course, the new Liverpool home kit has been unveiled today. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll also talk about the price of it as well, because I think that's the big talking point about the kit as well, which we're going to discuss. We're also going to talk, of course, about Leeds' Somerville, that we're going to discuss about him in tonight's episode. We're going to discuss Joe Gomez as well, potentially could leave Liverpool at the end of the season. We're going to be taking a look at that bit of news as well. And we're also going to talk about Vinod. Again, I don't want to pronounce his name because I think I'm going to butcher it. Is it Gertrude? I think it is. Again, apologies if I butcher anyone's names, but again, trying to pronounce his name is difficult. So again, if I do butcher it, I do apologize anyway. But again, let me know all of you are in the comment section down below as well. Of course, not many videos on the channel this week. Apologies for that as well. But hopefully, get back up to it as well. Because again, look, we are going towards the end of the season. Of course, obviously, transfer news will be becoming thick and fast, I think, once the season has officially ended. Of course, obviously, there's rumours and there's suggestions on who Liverpool could potentially get this summer, but still, of course, we'll be taking a look at that in due course anyway. But let's talk then about the new home kit for next season. Of course, Liverpool unveiled it today at 8 a.m. Of course, obviously, everyone having their opinions on it. For me, I like it. Of course, it is a throwback to, of course, the kit that Liverpool did win the treble in. Of course, did go on to win the European Cup as well in Rome as well. And of course, that is a throwback to that. Look, I like it personally. I think it's probably one of the best kits that Nike have done for Liverpool. Is it? Yeah, is it up there in terms of Liverpool's best ever kits? Not so sure, but again, I think that it's probably one of Nike's best. I would say for sure, and I would stand by that. I think this season's kit is definitely, for me, it's Nike's best kit for Liverpool. I know it's simple, but again, it's that classic look in that sense. Again, with this kit, a very simple and again classic look to it. Again, the one thing for me that I don't like personally is the collar. I would have fully liked a full on for the collar to be it looks incomplete to me personally. I don't know about anyone else, but for me it does look incomplete for me personally anyway. But the one thing I did want to talk about it as well, and the one thing that for me personally that is a bit of a talking point, and it's this. I'm going to quickly find the tweet as well from this because I was meant to clip it up and I forgot to bloody do it as well. So well done, Connor, on that sense as well. But if I quickly bring up James Pearce's tweet from earlier on today, there we go. So this is my biggest problem with the home kit for this season, and that is this. Obviously, Nike increasing the prices for the brand new home kit for next season. Let me quickly make that a bit bigger for you guys. There we go. So as you can see, but there, James Pearce is saying the standard adult shirt up to 6.7% from the 74 £74.99 to £80. Of course, that's of course the standard one. I believe the Vapor shirt is around £125 as well. Of course, that's up as well, I think, by a tenner, I think it is, or it might even be a bit more than that as well. But obviously, youth jerseys up to 9.2% from £54.95 to £60, and infants kits up by 15.7%. Of course, £44.95 to £52. LFC insist it's down to Nike and cranking up cost prices. They are selling the new 24-25 kit below Nike's RRP as well. Of course, obviously, full story from The Athletic in that sense as well. But for me, I think that's a big problem. Again, I wouldn't say so much if the home kit had a 2-year cycle. I think it should have a 2-year cycle. I think that's the problem nowadays with football kits, where going back even probably like 15 years ago, kits would be available, or home kits would be available for 2 years. Liverpool would have home kits from, let's say, 2001 to 2003 in that sense. And I think even with Adidas, I think we had I think one of our last home kits was, I think, from like 2010 to 2012, and that's something for me that needs to happen again, because again, you can change away kits, and I think something that's very similar recently as well is Brentford. Brentford, of course, kept their home shirt for 2 years, but they did change their away kit. I think that's understandable. But I think the way the world is at the moment, and of course, the cost of living side of things as well, for me personally, I think kit should be, or home kits especially, should be down to a 2-year cycle now. Again, people and teams and clubs won't do that because, again, they'll lose certain money and this, that, and the other. And of course, Nike will lose money in that sense as well. But I do think that there needs to be some sort of agreement between if it's the Premier League or the certain teams involved with the companies themselves. Of course, we're with Nike for another year. Supposedly Liverpool are going to go with Adidas next year, or obviously not next season, the season after, in that sense as well. So, but that is a big problem for me. The fact that, again, the standard shirt this season for next season, sorry, is 80 quid. Like that's again, that's mental in that sense as well. And I think, look, you have people struggling, you have people trying to to choose between heating and of course putting the heating on, I should say. I'm probably getting my words mixed up, or deciding to eat, and I don't think that's right. And again, obviously, kids nowadays, of course, obviously kids want the latest shirts, they want the latest thing. If they don't have the latest shirt, then again, we all know, even us as kids would want the new thing straight away, wouldn't we? And I think the fact that Nike put the prices up, of course, as James Spears has said but they're saying, of course, that it's Liverpool insists it's Nike who are the ones who've put it up, not Liverpool. Again, might be a sign the fact that Liverpool are going to move on from Nike for next season anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway on the kit overall. Of course, let me know your thoughts. For me, like I said, again, I like it, but again, I'm not happy in terms of the price tag. Not for my personal preference again, but I think for a lot of families out there, the fact that, again, the standard shirt alone is £80. Obviously the kids jersey, again, that's up to 60 quid now as well. You think about it, going back 5 years ago, you were paying 60 quid for a New Balance home shirt, and that's an adult's one. So again, I think it's something that needs to be talked about. Of course, they won't do it because, again, they'll lose money and this, that, and the other. But I do think that it is time for clubs to have a conversation around it anyway. But again, just let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments anyway. But we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about Leeds' Somerville. Of course, obviously having a fantastic season with Leeds. Of course, they're currently third in the Championship. Of course, they have to pray for Ipswich to lose on the last day of the season, of course, to get automatic promotion. But again, Leeds will obviously play. I think as it stands, I think they play Hull in the playoffs if things would happen right now, as well. So, but again, obviously linked with Liverpool. Obviously, you can see there from David Lynch saying Liverpool definitely like him, but whether that translates into going to sign him, we're not really sure at the moment. As well, of course, I think it was David Ornstein a couple of days ago who reported that Liverpool are looking for a wide player this season, or not next season, I should say. As well. So again, of course, obviously the names coming out, obviously Somerville is one, Kudos is another one that has just shot out of nowhere, I would say, which is a weird one, to be fair. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go, again, should Liverpool 100% go after these two? I'm not so sure. Again, if Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes think that they're the guys to go for to improve the team, then again, I'm all for it. But of course, Somerville for me, he does remind me of a Raheem Sterling. So I know people have gone, oh, he looks Sadio Mane-esque, but Raheem Sterling for me, he very much reminds me of Raheem Sterling at Liverpool as well. So again, good player, would depend on the price. Of course, obviously for us, we'd wish that Leeds don't come up, and then that would of course help Liverpool's pursuit in that sense. But again, of course, we're not going to be the only ones going for him. I believe he got the Young Player of the Year award as well. Not Young Player, the Best Player, I should say, award as well in the EFL. So again, you know what you're getting in that sense as well. But I also say that Fabio Carvalho won that award as well, and we've seen so far what's happened there. But again, I expect him to be involved in the team next season because again, Arne Slot likes playing with the 10. And with that, you'd expect Fabio Carvalho to be involved in Liverpool's team moving forward as well in the future. But again, Somerville, for me, it makes sense in that sense as well. Just going to quickly look at his stats. I think again he's got over I think it's 32 goal involvements this season in the Championship. I will quickly take a look at now what he has in the Championship this season. As well, he's got 28 goal involvements this season in the Championship. So again, you look at it on that side of things. Looking at it, he's again third in the league for that, only Armstrong and I think Sammy is his name is in the Championship for Blackburn as well. I've got better goal involvements than them two. 22-year-old turns 23 in of course in October. So again, a player that Liverpool would tend to go to, considering that can he take that next step up potentially? And of course, obviously being a Dutch manager, apparently Arne Slot is huge admirer of his as well. So again, you would think that Liverpool would be all over him come the summer as well. For me, I wouldn't mind it personally. Again, I think he can play as a 9. He can play as a right midfielder and a left midfielder. So again, for Liverpool, would make sense, and it would be perfect sense for Liverpool to go with Somerville this summer anyway. But we'll move on and we'll talk about Joe Gomez. Of course, Joey Gomez has been at the football club now since 2015, I think. Joe Gomez has been at Liverpool, but there are suggestions that he could be going from the football club. Sam Maguire saying Joe Gomez, obviously exclusive for him anyway, saying Joe Gomez is weighing up his options this summer. The versatile defender is open to leaving Liverpool. Now, he has spoke recently about the importance of Jurgen Klopp and how he's kept faith in him. And I think for a lot of players this summer, it's going to be an interesting one. Of course, obviously there's conversations around certain players. Obviously, Salah's one, Van Dijk's another, Trent's another as well. But you look overall at the squad, and of course we'll probably do a video on this by itself. But Joe Gomez is one of those players where it might be time to say goodbye. He may want a new challenge, but I think we've seen certainly this season Joe Gomez has been exceptional for Liverpool. I think has completely turned around what Liverpool wanted from him, because 12 months ago, me personally, I wanted Joe Gomez sold. Last summer, I genuinely thought there was no improving Joe Gomez. It looked like he was very down on confidence. The way he was playing as well wasn't the best in that sense as well. But what we've seen of him and what we've been able to get this season from Joe Gomez, he's been one of Liverpool's best players this season, and probably we were playing our best football with Joe Gomez actually playing left back in the football team. So, again, for me personally, I think that I want Joe Gomez to stay. And of course, obviously, that ties in with the rumours as well with the vinyl defender, of course, because, of course, the reports are suggesting as well the vinyl defender. I'm going to say Gertrude again, or Gertrude again. Apologies if I've butchered his name. Saying could make his way to Liverpool alongside Arne Slot this summer. He's a serious contender for Liverpool, and there is a growing belief that he could make his way out of the club at the end of the season. And also, it's been reported, I believe, from Dutch reporter Mickey van der Ran, I think it is, saying that there's a greater than 50% chance that Goethe signs for Liverpool this summer as well. So again, if that was to be true, of course, that would be great in that sense as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments on him. Again, I haven't seen much of Vinald in that sense, because obviously we've seen more recently with Arne Slot, of course, being announced as the Liverpool manager unofficially. But of course, we've seen certain things of him as well. But we'll have to just wait and see. I personally don't see Joe Gomez going. If he was to sign, obviously that defender from Vinald would make sense if Joe Gomez is going. If he's not going, I'd like us to sign a proper centre-half this summer. Of course, with Joel Matip going, you'd expect Liverpool would be, going for the best kids going in Europe in terms of, again, you look at Diamande is one. Anasio, I don't think now is a possibility. Antonio Silva. There's probably others that I'm not even thinking about neither that could be available for Liverpool this summer. So there's options there, and there are plenty of options for Liverpool to do something this summer for sure. But big up to John as well, saying I would be really disappointed if Joe goes. He is such a versatile player with great experience. Yeah, 100%. Hope you're doing well, mate. A big hello, Anthony. I've missed you for a year. Where have you been? Down in the Championship, nearly bottling it, but good seeing you, Ant, anyway. But the Kings are back. Rattled the Championship. Now time to rattle some Prem fan bases as well. Well, to be fair, you nearly bottled it. That's not hide that fact neither, Anthony. You nearly bottled it in the league anyway, but. To be fair, it's good to see Leicester back up anyway. But Leicester being linked with Fabio Carvalho for 12 million. I did see that. I think he stays at Liverpool. I'm not going to lie. I know you were interested in him, I think, in January, wasn't it? But he was concerned about playing time, which, of course, with his move to Leipzig not really developing into anything, you'd expect, what he's done at Hull has been very impressive. I think he's got, is it 9 goals and 3 assists since joining them in January, which again is good in that sense. But I would be surprised if Liverpool just sold him in the summer. I would be surprised because I think there's a certain aspect of it where I think in a Jurgen Klopp team, he would have been sold. And I think he definitely would have been sold if Jurgen was the Liverpool manager next season. But under Arne Slot, where we think that we're going to play 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 with a 10, you'd think that he would definitely be more involved in Liverpool's future plans. But again, we'll have to wait and see. There might be something in pre-season that we find out about, but it would be interesting. And I'd take about 16 mil for him, or 20 mil. for Fabio Carvalho if you got it. But we was only interested due to Dewsbury Hall injury as well. Anyway, yeah. But to be fair, Ant, you are going to get about 6 points deduction, aren't you, when you come into the Premier League? So again, the Great Escape 2.0. And potentially, but Pacho is really is being strongly linked with us. Sign him and then loan him back. Don't make sense to me. Yeah, I've also seen that rumor, John. I don't see Liverpool doing that. We made the mistake with that with Naby Keita. Like, look how well that went. We should have got Naby Keita in at day one when we were interested in him. For me, that deal never made sense looking back at it. But yeah, I can't see Liverpool signing a defender and then loaning him straight back out. I wouldn't be too surprised if Liverpool didn't put a bid in for a Diamande or somebody like that this summer, because when you do look at it, Liverpool, in the next couple of years, if things go correctly, Liverpool will need the next best defender in that sense. Of course, with Virgil van Dijk at the minute, we've currently got that, but there will be that transition probably in the next couple of years where Van Dijk will be used a lot less and be used probably for big games in that sense. Because again, Virgil van Dijk is 32, I think Virgil is. So again, obviously Virgil can probably go until he's 40, but could he do it at Liverpool till he's 40? Probably not. But again, it's sad enough I've got to think about Jurgen Klopp leaving, let alone freaking thinking about Virgil van Dijk leaving the football club as well. But still, Virgil will be around for a few more years anyway. But again, Liverpool will have to start thinking about that, because again, thinking back to the Joe Gomez stuff, I think all of us a couple of years ago thought that when Ibu come into the football club as well, Joe Gomez and Ibu Konate could be the Liverpool defense going forward. But then if Joe Gomez is going to leave, Liverpool are going to need to sign a versatile player. Of course, with the Dutch defender, that would be that replacement done. I think Liverpool, they need a proper centre half, a commanding centre half, to come into the football club, learn from Virgil, and then obviously take over that position. And for me, I think that will be the way forward. But of course, there isn't that many elite centre halves out there, I would say, that is available. I think obviously the potential ones are there. Obviously Diamande, Antonio Silva, for example. Obviously Pacho's been linked with us as well. So there are people out there that have been linked, but again, can't see it at the moment anyway. But he's played as a false nine, which is weird as well. I always thought that he could, for me, I would have loved to have seen him as a left winger for Liverpool, which I think next season we may actually see a lot more. We may see him as a false 10, maybe a 9 as well. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But now we are winning the thing again, exactly 8 years to the day we won it as well. No, not again. But yeah, no, that's still a mad story. The fact that Leicester, the fact that Leicester, did what they did that season will never be beaten. In my opinion, I don't think it will ever happen again. But it happened once. But as I say, lightning never strikes twice. But again, I hope Leicester have a good campaign. I'm hoping it's not, and it's the same with the rest that come up as well. Whether if it's Ipswich or Leeds or someone like that, I want teams to come up and not be as poor as what the three have been this season. I personally want a bit of fight from the teams that come up, and not. And not fall apart like what Sheffield and Burnley have done. I'm not going to put Luton in that conversation, because I think Luton have done very, very well for what where they are to stay in the Premier League, and I hope they do. I would prefer Luton to stay up than Forest personally. But I want a bit of fight from the teams that do come up. As well personally, but Levi Colwill needs to get out of Chelsea. I don't want him now. I wanted him probably 12-14 months ago, or probably a bit more than that, don't want him now. But evening, Doug, as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. Johnson saying, do you agree we need a DM and a new backup left back option to provide competition? Yes, I think Liverpool need to sign 4 players in the summer, personally. I think we need to sign a centre half, a left back, a DM, and a winger. But a right-sided winger, I think we need to sign. Because we've got loads of because again, I think a lot of people, if Salah was to stay, because again, I know that David Ornstein's post about Salah and saying against Mo's going to stay in that sense, and he could well stay, but I do think there is a bit more to it when it does come to Mo. But in also saying that, if Mo was to stay, signs a new contract, obviously there's then the conversation of, does Lucho potentially go? Because there's been a lot of conversation around that. I'm not so sure, because you look at the teams who could afford him, there isn't that many. PSG are one, but there's conflicting reports about him. Obviously, the interest is there from PSG, but are PSG going to spend 75 million on a Lucho Diaz? I'm not so sure. They could do, but I do also think that there's definitely something there for the season that Liverpool could do in terms of wingers. Again, Somerville is a perfect one because he can play on the left and the right. So there's one there. But I also think Liverpool need to sign an out-and-out right winger or right-sided midfielder in the summer. But then it also depends on what Arne Slot's going to do with the team. Dominic Szoboszlai could play on the right. He did with Leipzig. He could do for Liverpool in that sense as well. You could play a front 4 of Nunes, Gakpo, Diaz, and Szoboszlai. That's a potential option as well. Who knows? But again, that's what's exciting about the season. Like for me, like left back, I think Liverpool need a new number 1 left back at the football club. Not saying that Andy Robertson's not good enough, because I think Robbo is good enough, but like I think that they need a competition in that sense. I think Costas is going in the summer. I think Liverpool only got him to sign a new contract to keep his value in that sense. But yeah, I do think it's very much an option in that sense where Liverpool, they need to allow Robbo, because again, if Joe Gomez stays, Joe Gomez can play left back, because with keeping that similar style of Trent inverting, Joe Gomez can play that left-sided centre back position very well. He's did that this season. So if you have Robbo, Gomez, and a new left back to compete, then again, I'm more than happy with that as well. And I think we should do that. But again, we'll have to wait and see in that sense as well. But Doug says, what do you make of the new kit, Connor? The collar is a bit weird, but apart from that, I love it. I like it. I think it's up there for one of Nike's best kits for Liverpool. I think I'd put it in the top 3 for Liverpool home kits. I know there's only been 5 before anyone says anything. But yeah, I think it's in my top 3. I think this season's home kit is my favorite one from Nike. I'd probably put this at number 3 for Liverpool. I'd probably go last season's home kit's bottom. The first kit we had is 4th. This kit 3rd. The 21-22 kit is 2nd, and then this season's kit is number 1 for me. I for some reason I love this kit. It's probably because of the classic vibe to it, but the 21-22 kit I think is also a standout one as well, considering what could have happened that season. Anyway, but of course the big thing that we did achieve that season as well. But we already have a lot of prime quality in our team without spending a penny. True. Also, and if that rumor is true as well, that you're apparently going to give it the manager a new deal, if that's true. Again, don't know what Leicester are playing at, but Ricardo, Cody, Justin, Ndidi, Winks, Shrewsbury Hall, and avatar all Premier League quality. Yeah, 100%. And we have a bold demon dugout as well. Well, it's the new trend in the Premier League, and you've got to be bold to be a Premier League manager. But a high Doug as well. But Somerville of the right wing isn't great. Left wing is very good. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the versatile option is a good thing for Liverpool because again, you look at it again. Cody Gakpo, I think Cody Gakpo will thrive under Arnie Slot, but also if Somerville is going to come in, then again that would be great. Kudos is a weird one where supposedly there's a release clause in his contract. I think West Ham fans were saying it's around 75, 80 million. I can't see anybody paying that personally. I can't see anyone realistically buying him for that. And West Ham have got, I think they've already come out and said that they don't want to lose Paqueta and Kudos in the same summer. So again, even if that, of course, release clause when that's paid, it's practically impossible to stop a transfer. But I also do think that Liverpool will do something in that sense as well. But see, and you say this, like Ornstein said it was this summer, so that's the concerning thing about it. But if it is 2025, again, I can't say they'll be paying it. I like Kudos. I think Liverpool should have signed him from Ajax when we had the chance, but we didn't. So again, very annoying in that sense. Are you concerned with the amount of backroom staff leaving with Jurgen? Will they all be replaced with the same quality? Potentially not to begin with. Again, obviously Arnie Slot's going to bring his own team in that sense. Obviously, John Achtenberg's obviously leaving as well, the goalkeeper coach. Of course, he's been here before Jurgen. I think that obviously there's conflicting things about it where, again, whether or not he's leaving because of Jurgen or whether or not his contract's up as well. Maybe, again, he's maybe thought, it is time to leave in that sense. But again, obviously, John has been at the football club. He's been with multiple goalkeepers, like Alisson, obviously Mignolet, Karius in that sense. Obviously picked out Alisson to be the guy for Liverpool, which again was probably the best thing ever that John could have done. But look, again, he's one of the characters in the dressing room, and of course that will be a huge thing for everyone at the football club. And that's the thing, I think, next season, and I think people have to be a bit be patient on as well. Is it's not going to be smooth sailing, to begin with. Again, I've said it on multiple videos. For me, next season, a successful season is getting back into the top four. That consistency level that has to be there. But again, I don't expect Liverpool to be like we have been this season, for example, when we're talking about a title. We're in a title race in that sense. I don't expect that from Liverpool for next season. I expect us to be in the top four. I expect us to be in the Champions League qualification places, but I don't expect it to be, 80 plus points in that sense, because next season is very much a transitional period for Liverpool, even though certain things will stay the same in terms of playing style and in terms of, again, certain key players. But the way Liverpool are next season, of course, after Jurgen Klopp, it's a huge factor in that sense of, again, you need to give them time. And look, if by next season we're ninth at the end of it, then maybe talk about it. But still, you need to give Arnie Slot time. You need to get his players in. For me, I think the time that for me I will give him is 2 summer windows. This summer will be huge. Next summer will also be huge, and then after that, then you will kind of see then what will happen with Liverpool. If it is a downward slope, then you talk about it, but you have to give him time. And some people won't like that. People will be straight away, get him out the door, this, that, and the other. But no, you have to be patient. Was it amazing straight away under Jurgen Klopp? No, it wasn't. It was a building process, and after that, after that second season, Liverpool went on to, compete for Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues in that sense. And you hope the same as well with Arne Slot. And you hope with the data team back, with the people behind the scenes, Liverpool are in a lot more stable condition than what, like I said, Arsenal and Manchester United were. As part of that, for me, it has to be, that in that sense. But again, you have to give him time next year, and hopefully we do. But of course, big summer window for him as well. What else do we have? And saying from what the West Ham network said, he has one release clause now, and then next season it's a lowered value one. Oh, there we go then. So that would probably explain then why. Again, everyone thinks he's going to go next summer. No way we lose to Spurs on Sunday. It's awful. Yes, I think they've lost to Chelsea. A big chat. I think they lost 2-0, so again, useless. Does mean, by the way, Liverpool are in the Champions League for next season as well. Let me double check. Yeah, Liverpool in the Champions League for next season. So again, nothing now means anything for Liverpool in that sense, but still finishing the league off and finishing obviously Jurgen Klopp's time at Liverpool off to the right ending is the main priority now as well. But of course, why not? There's hardly a chance change on the pitch. There is a change, again, tactics, formation, style of play. There's certain things will stay the same, but not everything. And again, the big one as well will be Salah. I don't think Mo Salah keeps his position personally. We could see Mo Salah as a striker next season for the benefit of the team and for Mo as well. So again, that's something to even think about. But Enzo's Baldy Blues are here to take over, for God's sake, Ant. You still sticking with Vardy up top, not as a main man. Is he going to retire, Ant? Is that an option for him now? Because you're back up in the Prem, but squad option, I hope so. We need an evolution, not a revolution, in my opinion. Yeah, true. 20 goals this season, for God's sake. It did Ipswich come up? I don't think they have yet. They need a draw done there on the last day of the season. I think Ipswich need a draw, and Leeds need them to lose and to win. But I think Leeds have got Southampton on the last day, which again is ridiculous. Lost 2-0. Jackson scored. Yeah, he did. Tony's in there anyway saying, do you think Slot will start with a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3? I think it'll be a variant of both. Again, we will do a tactics video at one point. Probably after Monday, we'll probably do it. Where it most likely will be a 4-2-3-1 that can turn into a 4-3-3, but can also play as a 4-4-2 as well. So again, we will just have to wait and see. But I think 4-2-3-1 would be more like anyway. But Chelsea v Spurs 2nd of May, rolling the years back, and Leicester lifting the title. 3 days later, it's happened again. For God's sake. Vardy will do an Ashley Barnes and join a championship team. You miss me. Why not, Ant? But Vardy will either sign a 1-year deal or go to MLS. He won't do another year in the championship. No, I think he'll probably stay with Hughes and then retire. I see that anyway. But I think, obviously, for us, tomorrow is going to be the prediction show, the preview show for Tottenham, of course. Obviously, like I said, not mainly anything that will be a massive thing tomorrow. Obviously, the big news tomorrow for today anyway, was going to say it tomorrow, but obviously the big news is Conor Bradley's back for Liverpool, which is huge news for Liverpool. We might see him play it right back and play Trent as the 6 potentially as well. But what's this about Joey G? We'll talk a little bit then about Joe Gomez. Sam Maguire exclusively reporting saying that Joe Gomez is weighing up his options this summer. The versatile defender is open to leaving Liverpool, which of course Liverpool have been linked with obviously the Dutch defender from Feyenoord. Of course, you guys can see this on the screen. Of course, obviously there's been conversation around him, and Dutch reporters saying that there's more than a 50% chance that he will join the club. So, with a versatile defender coming in, does that mean Joe Gomez is going to leave? Who knows? I think it's a big talking point in the summer because, again, Joe Gomez, he's obviously spoken about. He's spoken about Jurgen Klopp and saying the importance of him being in the football club and how he's been able to keep him at the football club as well and keeping him happy. And that's something where I think under Arne Slot, I think Joe Gomez would be brilliant at. But I can also see him going, oh, look, I want to go to a European club, or I want to go to this certain team. I don't think Joe Gomez will play for a Premier League club, per se. But again, he may want to go to a European club in that sense. But I don't see Joe Gomez leaving personally. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. But that's the same with many more players this summer. It might be, they may feel like, oh, we've done everything that we can do, and they want something new. But I think the conversations around the contract players in terms of Van Dijk, Trent, and Salah. I thought before, a couple of weeks ago, I thought Trent and Virgil would sign new deals and Mo would leave. But it looks like Mo might be given a new deal as well. So there's a potential option where, again, Liverpool might sign Trent, Van Dijk, and Salah to new contracts as well, which would be very unlike Michael Edwards. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But I do think Trent and Virgil will sign new contracts. But Salah I'm still 50-50 on Salah. I know that David Ornstein reported that, again, Liverpool want him to stay and Salah wants to stay at Liverpool. But I don't know. I think there is one more twist in the story and the saga with Mo Salah and the Saudis anyway. But because we have qualified for the Champions League, we will get money for qualifying. Yes, we will. Show that Champions League chest, John. Show the 400 million that Arne Slot can spend in the summer. But Red Machine saying now we haven't nothing to play for. Put Bradley right back and Trent right side, right centre mid. I'd like him as a 6, see how that would go for sure. But if Ange plays his high line, Klopp has to go with Núñez, Diaz, Salah. I think that probably will be the front line. I'm not going to lie. Most likely, the only difference that probably Cody Gakpo, but at the minute, again, I wouldn't disagree with, again, Salah, Núñez, and Diaz. Again, Villa played a very high line against us, and we played that front three and completely battered them. So I'd expect the same personally. But sell him. Gertrude is in if he wants to leave. Let him go, in my opinion. Says Red Machine. Zane Zinzing, we're linked with him and Somerville. We can't buy every Dutch player just because the manager's Dutch. True, that is very true. But yeah, again, I for the one left back for me, I know I've seen plenty of people mention the Bournemouth left back, the Hungarian one. For me, I think it's still the same. I think Ryan Aït-Nouri, I'd definitely go and sign him. I think he's definitely a player who could be a really, really good left back in the future. But again, that's just me. But our women's team basically gave Man City the title after beating Chelsea. Yeah, really good game last night for the women. Again, deserve to win. So fair play to them. But Gomez to Dortmund sounds a good deal, especially with Mats and Sewell being older. True. Again, could go to Italy, someone like that. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I might need to go get something to celebrate, Ben. Nelson's new contract, for God's sake. And Tony says, do you think we'll try to sign a number 10 or go with what we've got? Go with what we got. I don't see us Liverpool signing a new number 10. Again, you've got Gakpo, you've got Szoboszlai, McAllister who can play that as well. There's so many players that could play that next season. Again, to go back on the Salah thing, we could for sure place Szoboszlai on the right, Salah up top, with Maka as a 10 potentially. Again, that would mean signing another centre mid or potentially playing Trent at centre mid next season. But yeah, I think for sure we see definitely some some sort of attacking signing next season for sure. But if you don't know who he is, I promise you will next season. Yeah, I can't wait to play with the freaking King Power again, where you freaking get a 1-0 win or something like that. DM, winger, centre back, left back, main priorities. I'm sure, yeah, 100%. I'd also agree with that anyway. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, big thank you to everyone for tuning in to the show. Did I forget to add that? I did forget to add that. So yeah, I bloody did as well. I forgot about the thumbnail to the slideshow, which was brilliant on my part anyway. But yeah, tomorrow will be a match preview for Spurs. Of course, Jurgen's press conference, I think, is 9:30 in the morning. So again, any news on that, of course, will be in tomorrow's show as well. Of course, if you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and all that good stuff as well. Of course, we're edging towards the end of the season. Of course, there will be more news coming out with certain players, and obviously the ins and outs of the football club as well. So of course we'll have that anyway, and of course let me know your guys' thoughts if you're watching on the repeat as well with the new kit as well for next season. Okay, and any other bits and pieces that we've spoken about, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to leave you with the image of the kit as well in a minute. But until next time, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the COB Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.